Okay, so what would you do if a single security flaw buried deep inside your web browser had been sitting there quietly, completely undetected, for 13 long years? Most of us are, well, notoriously bad at updating our devices, right? But imagine a hidden backdoor just waiting there for over a decade, giving hackers the potential to read your private files? And what if I told you an AI agent finally hunted it down in literally seconds?
I know, it sounds exactly like the plot of a cyber thriller movie, but this isn't science fiction. This just happened in the real world. Google recently revealed that its brand new AI security pipeline fixed more Chrome vulnerabilities in a single month than human teams managed to fix over the entire previous 2 years combined. A massive, invisible revolution is taking place right now on your desktop, and it's fundamentally changing how we protect our digital lives.
Part 1. The 13 Years Secret.
Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are breaking down a historic, honestly mind-blowing milestone in software engineering and artificial intelligence. So Google's Chrome security team announced that in their June browser updates alone, their internal AI security systems helped patch a staggering 1,072 security flaws. And when you add in the very next release, that total jumps to a breathtaking 1,442 fixes. Now, to most of us, hearing about browser patches just sounds like an annoying pop-up. You know that little red button in the corner you keep clicking Remind Me Tomorrow on because you don't want to restart your tabs. We are all guilty of it. But 1,442 is a staggering number. To put it in perspective, it surpasses the total number of bug fixes shipped across the previous 23 major versions combined. This isn't just a minor update to make web pages load faster. This is AI acting as a real-time digital shield, actively protecting the online banking, emails, and private lives of over 3 billion internet users around the globe.
Part 2. How security bugs work.
Before we dive into the incredible AI pipeline that made this possible, let's quickly get our baseline facts straight. How do security bugs actually get into massive software like web browsers in the first place, and why is fixing them usually so painfully slow? Well, Google Chrome is genuinely one of the most complex pieces of software ever built by human beings. Its codebase contains tens of millions of lines of C++ code. It has to handle everything from rendering high-def graphics to processing encrypted banking data securely. When human engineers write millions of lines of code, tiny oversights are just bound to happen. Think of it like building a towering, state-of-the-art skyscraper. You can hire the absolute best architects in the world, but with millions of individual components, someone might accidentally leave just one tiny window unlocked on the 45th floor. In the cybersecurity world, that unlocked window is called a vulnerability or a bug. A programmer might simply forget to clear a piece of memory after a tab closes, or miss a really rare edge case. Hackers actively look for these unlocked windows. They craft malicious websites that trick your browser into running unauthorized code, stealing your passwords, or escaping the browser's safety boundaries entirely.
Hunting for these bugs has always been a massive headache. Software companies have traditionally relied on a technique called fuzzing. Imagine building an ultra-complex physical door lock with thousands of tiny, intricate pins inside. Old-school fuzzing is basically like building a dumb mechanical robot that randomly smashes millions of different keys into the lock as fast as possible, aggressively hoping one weird key accidentally trips the latch. It is incredibly fast, but it's completely mindless. On the flip side, we have human security researchers. They are like meticulous master locksmiths. They study the blueprints of the lock, they pull out a magnifying glass, and they spend weeks fueled by coffee to carefully design a specialized pick. The human is incredibly smart but painstakingly slow. For 20 long years, the cybersecurity industry was stuck between these two extremes, fast but dumb robots and smart but slow humans. But the breakthrough we are seeing today changes everything. AI finally brings these two worlds together. It combines the deep reasoning capability of a master locksmith with the relentless, unyielding speed of a mechanical robot.
Part 3. Google's AI assembly line.
The technical numbers released by Google reveal a jaw-dropping acceleration in software defense. We're literally talking about compressing 2 entire years of meticulous, manual security engineering into just 30 days. Just imagine the scene inside those engineering rooms. Human engineers staring at their dashboards in absolute disbelief as 30 days of automated AI work completely outpaced 2 years of their own agonizing manual labor. Between Chrome versions 126 all the way to 148, which spans 2 whole years, human teams fixed 1,036 bugs. But in just one single month, across versions 149 and 150, the new AI ecosystem fixed 1,442. This isn't just some incremental 10% improvement. This is a complete paradigm shift, blowing right past the physical limits of what human teams can achieve. So how exactly did they achieve this unprecedented scale? Well, they didn't just use a single AI chatbot. That would get overwhelmed instantly. Instead, Google built a deeply layered pipeline of specialized AI agents working together. It is practically an automated security factory, with different AI agents working distinct stations on an assembly line. It starts with a triage agent. Think of this one like a highly trained ER nurse. The moment a crash is reported, this agent instantly reproduces the issue, figures out exactly where the bleeding is coming from, and rates its danger level. That alone used to take human engineers up to 30 minutes per bug. Next, the problem is handed over to the fixing agent. This acts like a skilled surgeon. It reads through Chrome's complete architectural history, understands the context, and carefully writes a custom patch to fix the flaw without breaking anything else in the browser. Then step 3, the Critic agent steps in. You can think of this agent as a ruthlessly aggressive health inspector. It doesn't trust the surgeon at all. It probes the proposed patch against strict security boundaries, constantly forcing revisions until the fix is absolutely bulletproof. Finally, the test writing agent automatically generates tests to make sure the fix works flawlessly across Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android. Only after this entire AI assembly line finishes does a human senior engineer step in for the final sign-off.
Part 4. The Big Sleep Breakthrough. The ultimate proof of this system's power isn't just in the sheer volume of bugs fixed. It's in the staggering complexity of the bugs it can actually uncover. And that brings us to a monumental breakthrough by a specialized AI agent named Big Sleep. Developed through a high-stakes collaboration between Google DeepMind and Project Zero, Big Sleep uncovered a legendary hidden flaw called CVE 2026-3545. Basically, this was a critical sandbox escape vulnerability hiding deep inside Chrome's navigation component. Now, what does that mean? Imagine your web browser as a literal physical sandbox. It's a tightly walled-off play area where messy, untrusted code from the internet can play around without ever touching the rest of your house, which in this case is your computer's hard drive. A sandbox escape is exactly what it sounds like, and it is a total cybersecurity nightmare. It means malicious code figures out how to climb over the walls of the sandbox and run rampant. If a hacker had found this vulnerability first, they could have tricked your browser into breaking out of its isolated environment to silently read private files stored directly on your hard drive. And the terrifying part? This bug sat completely undetected in the codebase for more than 13 years. Generations of human code reviewers missed it for over a decade because humans simply have limited mental context. You just can't remember millions of lines of code you read 5 years ago. Big Sleep succeeded because an AI model can hold 13 years of architectural code history in its active memory all at once.
Now, to keep up with this incredible avalanche of AI-generated fixes, Google had to fundamentally change how it updates Chrome. They are shifting toward a lightning-fast, bi-weekly major release schedule alongside weekly security updates. But here is the catch. They know everyday users absolutely hate those annoying restart prompts. If you force people to restart their browser every 3 days, they'll simply ignore the updates. So, to solve this, Google is introducing a brilliant technology called dynamic patching. To put it simply, dynamic patching is like changing the tires on a car while it's still driving down the highway at 70 miles per hour, so the driver never has to hit the brakes. It brilliantly swaps out background child processes like the graphics engine or audio player with updated secure code right on the fly. This means crucial, life-saving security updates happen completely invisibly in the background without ever interrupting your web browsing or forcing a restart.
Part 5. The Cybersecurity Arms Race.
We've covered the amazing technological breakthroughs, but let's pivot to the most important part of this explainer. How does this directly affect your digital privacy, your wallet, and your daily life? Because this isn't just an interesting story for tech nerds. This is the beginning of a massive structural shift in global cybersecurity. And Google isn't the only tech giant riding this wave. Microsoft recently reported a record-breaking 570 security fixes during a single update, attributing the massive jump entirely to AI vulnerability tools. But here is the terrifying double-edged sword of this revolution. The exact same AI models that defenders use to proactively write security patches? Yeah, those can be utilized by rogue nation-states and malicious cyber cartels too. In the past, to launch a massive cyber attack, a criminal syndicate needed a room full of genius, highly paid hackers. Today, they don't need the geniuses. They just need raw computing power. They can unleash automated AI agents to scan open-source software and build incredibly complex exploits at light speed. We are officially entering a high-speed, machine-versus-machine global arms race, where the future of software defense must move at the exact speed of algorithms just to survive.
Part 6.
what this means for you. So let's bring it all home. What does this AI revolution permanently mean for the software landscape? And more importantly, for you, the everyday user? Let's walk through these crucial takeaways. First and foremost, this is an absolute monumental win for your personal cybersecurity. Think about everything you do on your browser. Every single day, you log into your online banking, you type in your credit card numbers, you send private emails. By deploying autonomous AI agents to find and patch thousands of invisible flaws before criminals can weaponize them, your personal, intimate data is exponentially safer today than it was a year ago. Second, as we just discussed, it triggers an unavoidable machine versus machine arms race. The speed of internet warfare has fundamentally changed. And third, it permanently transforms human jobs in the tech industry for the better. We are rapidly moving away from the era where brilliant human programmers spend half of their careers manually hunting down incredibly boring memory leaks and typo-induced bugs. By letting AI handle the routine triage and the tedious patch writing on the factory floor, human software engineers are finally freed up. They can focus on what humans actually do best: creative architecture, designing better user experiences, and high-level system design.
Google's AI-powered pipeline fixing over 1,400 Chrome vulnerabilities in a matter of weeks is a monumental triumph for the internet. It shifts software defense entirely from reactive troubleshooting to proactive, high-speed protection. By uncovering a hidden 13-year-old flaw and pioneering invisible dynamic patching, AI is making sure your web browsing stays safer than ever before. But I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Now that artificial intelligence is actively writing security patches and fixing software automatically, do you feel more confident in the security of your web browser, or are you concerned that AI-powered hackers might use the exact same technology to find new vulnerabilities first? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.